With that, I'd like to ask the Chief of Fire and the President of the men and women that man the fire trucks and women staff the fire trucks as well as the ambulances, Pete Garias and Chief Khan, to maybe just make a few brief comments, and then we'll again be asking you probably to come up at a later time. I'll let the two of you decide who first.
All right, thank you, Mayor, Council. First of all, I'm standing in support of the budget, the proposed budget. But the comment I want to make is I just want to applaud the teamwork that has gone into this, from the mayor and the council, the city manager's office, the labor management process that we have in our fire department, the citizens that came out and expressed their priorities through the various avenues, many at the budget hearings that were out there. I think if you start looking at how we brought this thing together, it was just that. The fire department made a lot of cuts, saved 3 engines, a ladder, and a rescue. Our members made a lot of personal sacrifices out of their wage and benefit concessions to save another 3 engines. And as the budget director had pointed out, that's combined, that's over 185,000 calls a year. And by extension, that has the impact of service delivery, the response times. That is such a critical part of what we do. So I just want to thank everybody for their role in this process, and tell you that we wholeheartedly support that. And as an example, I had over 350 of my members come out and vote unanimously to make those wage concessions, to protect those engines and to protect those response times and those critical areas that the city has. And as was pointed out earlier, those that are in most of the need for what the city does. So thank you.
Clarification, Mr. President, what percentage of your members voted to support this wage reduction or benefit wage reduction?
Well, we have 1,651 members, and over 350 of them came out and voted.
And that percentage of 350 was?
It was unanimous, absolutely unanimous.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
Chief Khan.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, thank you for giving me the opportunity to just recognize, I think, the executive team here that you put together, late night phone calls from the city manager, trying to make things happen, the assistant city manager working through this and looking at the numbers and crunching the numbers and trying to, if you would, delayer everything that we could in the system so that we would be able to address, as we heard in the public hearings, all our citizens' concerns. And being a native of Phoenix, my biggest concern is simply an urban decay. And we heard that from people who care about libraries and people who cared about parks and people who were passionate about public safety. And this gave us the opportunity to come together in the middle of a recession, probably the worst that this city's ever seen, and come up with ideas and be creative and put on the table furloughs and put on the table different ways to do business. You all enabled us to do that. And at the end of the day, if you look at the list that Kathy put together and Mr. Zucker, we were able to hold this city together. And we were able to come to the city and ask for permission to do that. I think if you look at public safety, it's our finest hour. You had labor and management working together, looking at ways to do that. The middle managers in fire unanimously approved a pay cut, as did the members along with Pete Garias' group in Local 493. You don't see that in most cities. Most cities, it's a fight to get things done. When I talked to the firefighters, their reasoning for doing that wasn't just to save jobs, it was to provide the service to the community, to give back. They cared about the service model that we have and feel it's the best way to protect the community. And in a unanimous fashion, they stood up and answered the call. So on behalf of all of them and the city management, thank you for giving us this opportunity.